In our everyday dreams, it's very common for us to see people that we see every day, so like our friends and our family. But some people report of seeing people that have already passed, or sometimes they even dream of people they have never seen before. If you want to find out why this happens, make sure you pay attention to the 5 following reasons why you dream with people. Hi everyone, Sergio here. If you are new to my channel, I share content regarding tarot readings, dream meanings, and other mystical topics. But today we're going to be talking about the 5 reasons you dream with people. Number 1, a mirror of yourself. So in our waking life, we all hold negative and positive behaviors and traits. And obviously because of our ego, we're only able to focus on our positive traits. So we all like to see the positive in ourselves. We kind of ignore the negative things that we have. But this also makes it easy, if you notice, to pick the negative traits of other people. But that's a reflection of our shadow, of our negative self. So if you think about it, what we see negative in others is a reflection of what we try to hide about ourselves. One of the examples I like to give when it comes to this certain topic is about a guy that had a dream that his younger brother was being very destructive due to alcoholism. So in his dream, his younger brother was just drinking and drinking and drinking, and the situation became so severe that in the dream, I think he burned the house of the family. He was beating the wife, mistreating his children, just being very destructive. But whenever he woke up, he realized that his brother has never drank before. He doesn't drink at all, and the drinker was himself. But he didn't want to see that because his family had actually told him in his waking life, like, hey, you need to slow down when it comes to drinking. But obviously the ego didn't want to let him see that part of himself. He didn't want to accept that negative trait of himself. So in his psyche, his dream, he would see his brother doing these destructive things when in reality it would be him. So it's kind of like a reflection of his negative trait, and he would see all the chaos that he would cause if he keeps going on with this behavior. So that's one of the reasons why I like to believe we dream with people, to be able to see that reflection of our negative self. Because obviously, when we're awake, we're not gonna accept it or admit our negative traits. We're always gonna kind of ignore them. But whenever we're asleep, our psyche it's able to give us that reflection, so we can be um, accepting of the chaos that we can cause by not paying attention to our negative trait when we're awake. Number 2, a psychic connection. I like to believe that we hold a connection to the ones that we love, a connection that is beyond the physical realm. Because if you ever notice, sometimes we dream with people that we don't usually talk to or that we see in the daily basis, but that we still love, and we're able to connect with them via dreams. One of the examples with this that I like to share is something that actually happened to me. And I had one of my very close friends, very long time friend, that was sick in the hospital, and I actually did not know it when he came to the being awake. I had no idea that I was in the hospital. However, one night I had a kind of like a nightmare. Like I knew that he was in the hospital, and I knew he was not doing well in my dream. And I woke up, and I remember I could not go back to sleep. I actually had to put a prayer, and all I said was, if there's something going on, make sure we keep him safe and stuff like that. So I kept that prayer, and I kept that scary dream, thinking about that. Days later, I found out that he was indeed in the hospital and that he was very sick. And that's where I was like, oh my gosh, there's actually, it was like a warning to me. I have that connection with that person, even though we didn't talk every day and he didn't tell me that he was sick or that he was feeling bad. I was still able to connect to him and know what was going on in his life. So a couple of days passed. I kept my prayers up and everything, and I had another dream that he actually told me, "Hey, they're actually switching me out of this room." Technically, in my dream, he was switching from a hospital to another hospital. That's how it was. But symbolically, I understood that the whole dream was, "Hey, I'm doing fine. I'm better." That same day, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, I'm finally better. I think his mom told me that he was doing therapy and stuff like that." So that was just so crazy. But I think this happens because, like I said, even though we didn't talk every day and everything, I think love is such a strong factor in this type of connection. To see these people in our dreams that our soul are able to meet whenever we're awake. Since we're not talking while we're awake, I think deep in our soul, whenever we're not distracted with our everyday things and our ego and everything, that's whenever the souls connect. And I think whenever you love someone a lot, you're able to connect with them to that extent, via dreams. Number three, spirit visitations. So I like to believe that dreams are not only a collection of memories to exhale all of our stress and all of our problems, but it's also a vehicle to connect to the spiritual realm. So when we are asleep, it's whenever our soul and our body really, it's the most relaxed and undistracted, just more vulnerable, which is a perfect moment for spirit to be able to connect with us and give us a simple hello, or they can show us some love, and sometimes they even give us some warning about some certain situations. Dreaming with people that have already passed away, it's very common, and I'm gonna give an example of something that happened to me. It might be different to to everyone, but this is how these dreams would manifest to me in particular. My grandma was a very special person in my life because she raised me most of my childhood, and once she passed away back in 2005, 2004, it was very hard, and all these years I have missed her, obviously, and I still do, but I have never had a dream with her. For some reason, um, I would know her presence was there, or she would voice a simple hello and stuff like that. But in the dreams, she would give that information via like someone else. It was really weird. It was like let's say that I had a dream with my sister or my brother or my cousin, whatever, in my dream, and that person would say, "Hey, grandma says hello," or "Hey, grandma says this, says that." That's how I would have my dreams. I have never seen her physically, in the dream, obviously, but maybe about a year ago, I actually saw her in my dream, and obviously, I saw her how I remember her, and the clothes that she would wear, and just exactly how she looked and how she would act. And I remember I asked her in my dream, I was like so aware of what was going on. I asked her, I was like, "Grandma, why have I never seen you? Why haven't you come and say hi to me? Why haven't you shown up?" And she simply said, "Because I've been busy." And I was like, that is so her to say that. And to be mysterious. She was always kind of like that. And that's just how I was. And I don't I didn't ignore that message. I actually acknowledged that message, and I think it's very important to acknowledge that message because the whole time I always wonder why she never came to me. Like in my waking life, I was like, why do I dream with her presence or with her voice, but I never see her physically? And I had wondered that for a long time, and I kind of ignored it for a while. And I would even like pray for her to come and talk to me in a dream for a while, and it was just that. It was just I wanted to see her, but it was always her voice and stuff like that that would show, until that dream that I was like, wow, that is so hard to say that. Obviously, I have no idea why she said she was busy. I don't know what she does as a spirit. I don't know, what's going on, but she just simply told me that. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge these messages and say thank you whenever we do have them. If it's just a simple hello, if it's a warning about something, or if it's just remind us how much they love us even though they're not here anymore, it's very important to say thank you, because just like we make efforts to connect with them, they make efforts to connect with us, and for them it's very difficult because we're so distracted, and there's a lot of people that don't believe in this thing, so it's very hard for them to actually connect with us. But whenever we're sleeping and we're relaxed, it's easier for them to connect with us, which this is why I think it's very important for us to acknowledge them and say thank you, because at the end of the day, this kind of experience, it's a blessing. So, reason number four, it's discovering relationships. So, in our waking life, we may be confused about our current relationship that we have with a person, either a boss, your parents, or even like a love interest, of course. And we may be confused about how they feel about us, like you don't know where you stand, so you're kind of just like curious, like, do they love me back, or do they hate me? Do they like me? You kind of just don't know. So, I believe that in our dream can give us a hint about what others feel about us, and it lets us know their agenda, and sometimes it even shows our agenda, because sometimes, like I said, we don't accept our own negative selves and our negative behaviors that we have. So sometimes even in these dreams we're able to see that, and how maybe our behavior can change to have a relationship with this person. And like I said, same thing, we can look through them and see how their bad behaviors, how they feel about us and stuff like that. One of the examples I can give to you guys, same thing from personal experience, was with one of my very long time friends, childhood friends actually. And me and him, we stopped talking for a very long time, very, 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 very long time, because he started dating his girlfriend, and it was, it was kind of that part of your teenager where, like, oh my god, you have a girlfriend, so you go crazy and you forget about your friends. That obviously hurt my feelings, because I was like my best friend for a long time. And after that girlfriend, I'm gonna stop talking to me, which now I understand, but at the moment I was like so upset and so like going crazy that I went crazy. Like literally, I was like, okay, you don't talk to me, then that's it. So I kind of cut him out of my life, which is not good. See, that's a negative trait, but I did that, and then after time passed and I realized, oh my god, I actually miss him. Like, I shouldn't have done that. I realized and I understood and I learned that I was wrong for what I did, for cutting him off just because he had a girlfriend. That's not, that's not a good thing to do. So my pride was still there, and I didn't want to reach out to him. What for what? I already did the damage, and let me just leave it alone. But I think my subconscious was still like, no, like, you love this person. It's a very special friend, and the right thing to do is to reach out to them. But I didn't because that's just how I was back then. And in my dream, I remember me and him being back in high school, and we were just like, we used to be like the best friends, just making fun of everything and just laughing in class and so on. I was having a good time in my dream, and again, I was conscious of what was going in my dream. So I asked him, I was like, how are you? Like, do you miss me? Do you love me? How are things? And he told me, yes, I miss you, and I'm hurt, and I don't understand, and I'm mad at you. I'm pissed at you for doing what you did. Um, and I think he also expressed, if I'm not mistaken, like, I'm not happy anymore, or like she's not around my life anymore, something like that, something that had to do with the girlfriend that he had. And I was like, okay. So I wake up and I'm like, to call him, to text him, to reach out to him, yes or no. So it took me a while to actually do it, but I reached out to him. I was like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How's life? And literally everything that he had told me in his dream, he told me in person. He said, hey, I miss you, man. Like, what happened? I'm sorry about this. Sorry we didn't talk. Sorry I didn't communicate. I was going crazy with this girl, so on. So we had that conversation, and I was like blown away. But it made me so happy to see that, because if it wasn't for this dream, I would have never reached out to him. I would have never had any idea of how he felt. But in the dream, I trusted what he said. I knew it was just not my subconscious making up things, or my brain making up things. I knew that somehow it was our relationship, and our souls connecting beyond. So I think it's very important to pay attention to how others behave in this dream as well, because let's say if in the dream, instead of him saying that he missed me, he said, hey, I don't, I was like, hey, how are you? He'd be like, I don't, what do you care? Then obviously I wouldn't have reached out to him. I wouldn't done that. So it's very important, because the dreams will reveal to you how they feel, their motives and intentions, and hiding agendas about them and stuff like that. So that's a really good thing to think about whenever you dream with others. Last but not least, definitely, number 5, which is spirit guides. So, like I mentioned before, dreams can also be a time for mystical connections. Many people have claimed to dream with people that they have never seen before, giving them advice, giving them love, showing them things are going to happen in the future, or even give them a warning, like just telling them biblically. And I believe that can be spirit guides or ancestors down our family line. For example, one of the dreams that I had was, and I still have them, so it has not been like past, because it's been happening for a long time. But I remember maybe, I want to say 5 years ago, I started dreaming with this lady. And this lady was your typical, like, espiritista, servidor del misterio, whatever you want to call them. Very Caribbean, very, I don't know, bien espiritista. Wearing the head covering, all white, very beautiful. And she would always just give me advice, and I would always, obviously I would always write it down when I wake up. But it was very interesting because at first I was like, okay, maybe I'm just making up this character in my mind, but obviously that's impossible to make up things in your brain, because your brain and your dreams are just memories, and I don't remember seeing this person before. So it was very curious, and she would always be doing something. Like, I remember one dream where she was like preparing a spiritual bath. She didn't tell me that, but I saw it. I remember another dream that I was at that lady house, and it was kind of like by the beach. And I remember she had like a huge altar, and she had just, it was very beautiful. Like, everything, she was just very dedicated to serving to God and serving to the guides and everything. So I keep dreaming with this lady for a long time. Obviously I don't see her every day. I think she comes to me whenever I'm very confused, or whenever I don't have direction in my life. And every time that she has shown, she has always told me messages herself, or even she's been one to tell me that, hey, your grandma's here and she's giving you a message, even her. So I don't know if this is a ancestor of mine from a long time, or a simple spirit guide that I have. But nonetheless, I am very happy to see this person, because, like I said, it has given me so much advice, and sometimes she tells me stuff that I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it makes sense, and then I'm able to feel comfortable in my waking life because of the things that she tells me. And even though we never seen them before in person, I think it's very important to say thank you when we wake up. After all, like any other spirits, they have, well, spirits of light, any other spirits of light have their best interest in us, and they look after us. And it's important to keep note of that in everything that they show us and tell you as well. So there you guys have it, the 5 reasons why you dream with people. As you guys see, it's very complex. You guys see that these dreams can be very logical and they can be very mystical. It just all depends how you feel and all the details of your dreams. It's very important to pay attention not to only one thing and not to obsess over one single detail, but pay attention about everything. That will help you understand your dream better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, make sure you guys give me a like, a heart, whatever, depends if you're watching it on YouTube or on Instagram. Make sure you guys share this content. And as always, you guys know I do tarot readings, I do dream interpretations, and I try to help you guys understand any spiritual topics. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys send me a message via DM. And I hope you guys have a great week. Bye bye.